Hello, hello. Happy Monday. And we are off. It is smoothie time. You guys, this is day one of our 5-day smoothie challenge. And this week, we've got lots of good stuff happening here during this challenge. And if you have not signed up, there's a link that I just popped in here so that you can get registered. This is where I'm going to hook you up with smoothie recipes, my how to build a smoothie guide, and make sure that you have everything that you need to be successful here. And I am super excited to bring this challenge to you because this has been one of those game changer things for me and my family when I learned how to make good smoothies. And I don't want to say when I learned how to make smoothies, when I learned how to make good smoothies, because there's definitely a right and a wrong way to do this. And you know that you're doing smoothies wrong if a couple of things happen to you, right? Number one, you are hungry like an hour later, 2 hours later. Maybe you're using this for breakfast or lunch and you're wanting this to be a meal replacement, right? You need something quick, you need something easy, but you also need something that's going to stretch for a couple hours at least to get you to your next meal or your snack. And so if you're finding that your smoothies aren't filling you up, like that's a problem. But the other thing is that this can have a huge impact on our energy levels for the day when we get this right or wrong, right? If you have like afternoon crashes, or you just find you're dragging, or you're like craving things later on in the day, that's a good sign that you've done your smoothie wrong. And so I'm going to help you work out all those kinks today and give you some of my pro tips for doing smoothies. Now, if you guys are coming in live, I see some of you in here now. Awesome. I want you to comment on these videos and ask questions and interact as much as you want to, because we're doing a giveaway this week with the smoothies. Like, not only do you get free smoothie recipes and free training here and free support, there's going to be a giveaway on Friday for a Pampered Parent box. And if you don't know about the Pampered Parent, you've got to go check them out. This is one of my friends, Lindsay, who put together this subscription box for special needs moms. And every month there is a theme, and she hooks you up with different self-care goodies, really is the best way I can think of it. It's just a box that's going to be full of stuff for you every month, because it's hard as moms when we're caring for kids with additional needs. We give so much to them, and it's really hard often for us to give back to ourselves. And this is where Lindsay and I connected, because we both are all about, like, mom has to be well. We have to be physically healthy, we have to be mentally healthy, and part of that is like having fun and having special time for you. So there's stuff like candles. I've done breath work and yoga, and there's t-shirts and coffee mugs and treats, and I mean, there's fun stuff every single month. So one of you this week is going to get hooked up with one of these boxes for November for free. So make sure you comment, make sure you interact, because that is how you will get entered into this giveaway this week. So let's do this. Let's talk about and really get into the details of what makes a good meal replacement smoothie, so that you can do this right this week in the challenge and whenever you need it going forward. You've got this tool in your back pocket. And for some of us, this becomes like a staple. For a while, for me, this was something that I did literally every single day, either for breakfast or for lunch, because I needed fast fuel. I knew I didn't want to skip meals, but I also knew that I didn't want to just give myself junk, because often convenient, quick food in 5 minutes or less is going to come from a drive-through, which aren't all bad, right? You can do pretty good in some drive-throughs. Or it was just going to be like grab and go, like pre-packaged stuff that isn't really full of good nutrition that we need to have fuel. And this is the most important thing that I want you to take away from this, is that you as a mom are expending huge amounts of energy every single day, physically, mentally, and emotionally, as you take care of your family especially your kiddos who have additional needs. And so when we expect ourselves to be able to give out a lot of energy, that means that we also have to put in, right? And fueling your body with good food is critical. So skipping breakfast, skipping meals, no longer an option. Just don't do it from now on. Like, say goodbye to that, and we're gonna do smoothies. So if you have been in my world for a while or been a part of any of my nutrition training, you will know that my approach to fuel and nourishment is not normal. It's not the common way that most fitness trainers and most professionals will talk to you about food, because most people will talk to you about calories and making sure that you don't have too many calories and that you take in, calories out, and getting this balance right for your body every day. And it's not that calories aren't important, but they are not the whole picture. And so what I have found time and time again is that moms have focused on the number of calories that they're consuming to their own detriment, because they may be lacking in key nutrients and giving their body the wrong balance of energy. And the outcome of this, when you get this wrong, is that you're tired, you're craving things, mostly sugar, and you will just be dragging throughout your day, right? If you know that feeling, like that mental fog, that just not feeling on, this is a really good sign that your nutrition is out of balance. And you can be doing a really good job trying to eat whole foods and good foods and tracking and counting calories and still be getting this totally wrong. So instead of talking and looking at smoothies as just calories, what we're going to learn about today is about your blood sugar, because your blood sugar is the key to unlocking your energy to where you are going to feel your best throughout the day. You're going to have steady energy. You are going to feel satisfied, right? No more just trying to like willpower your way through cravings and, saying no to the treats, because when you get this right, everything comes into balance in your body, your brain, and it's truly, truly magical. And so what your blood sugar is, just real quickly, real simply, is when you eat something, your body takes that food and it breaks it down and it converts it into energy. This is called glucose. It's your blood sugar. And what we eat in each meal determines how your body breaks down that food and how quickly that energy goes into your system to get used. And so for a lot of us, like when we eat foods that are not a good balance, pretty high in carbohydrates and lower in some of these other nutrients that I'm going to teach you about, like fiber and protein and healthy fats, we get this surge of energy into our body. Our body breaks that down super fast. We get a spike of this blood glucose, which feels really good. Maybe you know this one. It's that sugar rush. It's that energy high. It's that, woo, okay, I'm feeling awesome. But that spike is also followed by a crash. And that crash is the worst part of our day. We are tired. We shouldn't be tired at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. or 1 p.m., right? We are then needing either another sugar pick-me-up or caffeine or something because we're just feeling like we're dragging through the day. And this can happen several times throughout the day. So instead of riding that roller coaster of like high energy and then low energy and then cravings and then feeling sluggish, what we want this to look like throughout our day and through our meals is kind of like this nice undulating rolling hill scenario, right? Where we might get a little surge of energy, but then as that dips down, it's right about time to eat again, and we stay pretty steady, because that is where you're not going to experience energy crashes, you're not going to be tired, you're not going to be craving and not making terrible food choices because you're starving. You're not snapping at your kids because your body's all out of whack and trying to manage with not the right amount of food. So, smoothies. Here's where smoothies go terribly wrong. This is where, in my life and with clients, I've seen people really get into a bad spot with this, because when we think about smoothies, a lot of times we think about throwing a lot of fresh fruit in there. And fruit, you guys, is amazing. We need the good vitamins and nutrients and the fibers that we get from fresh fruit. However, fruit is a carbohydrate. It is a carb. And I don't demonize carbs, but you only need a certain amount of carbs depending on how much you're moving and how much energy you're putting out. And if you give your body more carbs than it needs, what your body does is it takes those excess carbs and it packs it away as body fat if it can't use it, and it can lead to that spike. So a lot of times when we make smoothies, we are really heavy on the fruit and maybe really light on these other components that we need in there to balance it. The other things that have to be in there to make this a well-balanced meal that's not going to send you off the edge with your blood sugar, and it's not going to leave you hungry and crashing later, is protein. This is number one. You guys that are in the challenge, we've got protein added into every single one of these smoothies. And this is not just to, put some extra powder in there and like have you buy something else. I know it's tough to buy protein. It can be expensive, especially if you're getting good quality stuff. But the key is that we need a lot of protein throughout the day, and the protein that's in there is going to help you with energy. It's going to help you to balance your blood sugar levels, and it's going to help you to stay full longer than if you just have those carbohydrates. So if you've been kind of like, I don't know about doing protein in a smoothie, do it. This is not one of those things that you want to skip. If you are here and you do not have a good protein, I should have had this ready. I don't have it. I'll post a picture later. I have one that I absolutely love. My son was pouring that protein into the smoothie. If you see the video of what we did this morning, they're just little individual packets, and I find that they're so easy. This is my favorite protein if you want to try some of this. It's plant-based. I can send you some samples. Just pop a comment here if you want. But don't skip the protein. At least 12 grams of protein going into your smoothie. For most of us, that's going to be 1 scoop. You might have up to 20 something going in there if you're using like a whey protein. But we need protein. If you absolutely can't do protein powders, there are other ways to get additional protein in your smoothie. I've seen people get really creative with this, putting like chickpeas in there or black beans. You can use Greek yogurt. You can use, we'll get some from our milk products and nut butters, but going with either animal protein or plant protein is really key. Soy is what I've been using for a while now, really clean soy, because it's a complete protein, and this is really important. We get complete proteins just from soy or from animal proteins or a mix of beans. So you want to just make sure that you're getting a complete protein. So protein is really key, but that's still not enough. Still not enough just to do protein and fruit, because there's a couple other elements that build out a balanced meal where our body is really going to thrive. The next one is going to be healthy fats. Yes, we need to eat fat. We do. Avocados, thinking about nuts and seeds and these healthy fats that we get from plant-based foods. This is really, really amazing and something that we skip out a lot of in our smoothies. So you're going to notice that almost all of my protein or all of my smoothie recipes will include either some type of nut butter, some type of seed, coconut, something that's going to get you some of those healthy fats. Because if you skip out on this, you're not giving your body a balanced meal. You're going to be hungry. You're going to experience those energy crashes later in the day. If you're building your own smoothie, you can experiment with different flavors with this. It's really cool to get creative and use different things like chia seeds or different nut butters and explore flavors. My favorite go-to when I'm just building a really quick protein smoothie is hemp seeds. If you've never seen these, they're amazing. They're little teeny tiny speckles. We call them sprinkles in my house because I put them on my kids' cereal. I put them on their pancakes. And they're mostly flavorless. They have a little bit of a nutty flavor, but I found that these are so easy just to add in without really changing the flavor profile. So if I'm doing like a coffee smoothie or something that I don't want a lot of nutty flavor in, hemp seeds are my go-to. All right, so we know we're going to get a good portion of protein in there. We are going to get some healthy fats. Your base of your smoothie can really be whatever you want it to be. Some people use water because they're trying to keep the calorie count down. I like a really creamy smoothie, so I tend to lean into like oat milk or almond milk or coconut milk. Sometimes coconut water can be good if you're wanting to get some good electrolytes in for better energy. And you know, the texture will change kind of depending on ingredients. Like a lot of times we'll put bananas or avocados or something in to make it a little bit more creamy as well. This takes some trial and error, but hopefully with the recipes that I've given you, you're going to find a good consistency that actually tastes good and is enjoyable. So the last thing that is really, really huge when it comes to building a meal replacement smoothie is getting fiber into your smoothie. When we put fresh fruit in there, you know, if it has skins, if it's a whole fruit, it's going to have a good amount of fiber. But most of us are really lacking throughout our day in vegetables. And vegetable fibers and whole grains are actually really great for our body. So there are times where I will add in just a handful of spinach. It goes pretty much in the background. Spinach doesn't have a very strong flavor. You can add in like oats and oatmeal if you want to add in some extra whole grains and fiber. These are just so good for helping manage your blood sugar, managing your gut health, and getting your body these prebiotics that help your digestion and all these things. I had a conversation just the other day with a mom who said, I can't really do smoothies because it messes up my digestion. So getting fiber in there is really beneficial for your digestive health and your gut health. So skipping out on protein, healthy fats, and extra fiber is where most people go wrong with smoothies. End up being hungry really quickly, end up having cravings later, end up having energy crashes. And when you get those in there in the proper portions, man, it changes everything. And what I did this morning, my first smoothie of this week, I had that around 7 a.m. was when I blended that up. And it was about 11 o'clock when I was ready to eat again. And that is the perfect amount of time. When it comes to stabilizing your blood sugar, we're looking at having our next snack or meal within 3 to 4 hours from your first one. So if you make that smoothie and it is 2 hours, 2.5 hours, you haven't made it to that 3-hour mark and you're hungry already, there's something that you've missed in there. And you want to go back and look at those portions and how you're building that smoothie out to have enough protein, healthy fats, and fiber. When we get this right though, man, it's so good. So I want to hear from you guys. You let me know how you are doing with your smoothies. If you've made smoothies in the past that left you feeling hungry and unsatisfied and kind of messed with your energy for the day, let me know. And then how are you feeling? Like when you try these smoothies, are you noticing that there are gaps, maybe things that you wouldn't normally put in your smoothie that make a difference for you and things that you're going to tweak? If you didn't get this yet, I've got it pulled up on my phone right now. I have this guide. It's how to make a smoothie, fast fuel for the busy days. This was emailed to you on Saturday if you signed up for the challenge, but if you register now, you'll still get access to that so that you can have this smoothie guide so you can continue to explore and figure out how you can make smoothies that will work for you, your taste buds, and your body. So, big takeaway today, you need fuel. You absolutely need fuel, and it's not just about calories, it's about looking at your holistic nutrition profile, all of those macronutrients. And when you get this wrong, smoothies can be really quite damaging to your energy for the day and your blood sugar, but when you get it right, it is an amazing tool for you, for your family, to have a quick and easy meal that's ready in 5 minutes. So you guys pop questions in here. Let me know if you need support with anything. Let me know how this is going for you so far. And I'm going to be back on Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm going to unload all of my tips and tricks from somebody who's made smoothies for years and years and years to help you save time and kind of jump through the learning curve if you're new at this. And that'll be a great time for me to answer your specific questions about things that are coming up for you and what you need help with. And then on Friday, we're going to do our giveaway. I've got a little bit more training about what's next, right? What's next? How can you take what you've learned about smoothies and move on and maybe apply this to improving your nutrition across the board? So I can't wait to work with you this week. You guys have a great rest of your day. See you for the next one.